Okay, last one. Inside the customer's decision space. Now that sounds very promising.
Very
because
much.
customers, the NSA customers, is something we are increasingly focusing on as much as possible.
Definitely.
Yet another success story with the global war on terrorism, which in aggregate is a total failure, and not at all a success story. In early 2003, NSA CSS Europe and the Geospatial Exploitation and Counterterrorism product lines initiated a forward production effort to support our national goals and strategy in North Africa. Among those goals was to enable African governments to police their own borders, sustain or enhance stability. I bet that certain African governments that suits them, and make it clear that their countries are an environment hostile to terrorist organizations and their supporters, even though several of those African governments are in fact terrorist governments. This small investment of 5 to 6 analysts has provided a significant return. Forward production and headquarters and analysts were able to report the predicted movement of terrorists operating in Mali, Niger, and Algeria. Niger being one of the West African, not North African countries, in which the US was stationing troops as far back as these documents to secure the oil reserves for US and US allies. EUCOM senior staff and US ambassadors in this region used this information to engage and enable regional governments to conduct successful counterterrorism operations. Intelligence generated has been responsible for the capture or kill of over 40 terrorists and has helped achieve the global war on terrorism and regional policy successes in Africa. While based on the skills of the forward deployed analysts as supported by NSA HQ, 2 overarching factors. So for them to be forward deployed, where are they forward deployed? Are they forward deployed to EUCOM?
It's a good question.
Or are they forward deployed to Mali, Nigeria, and Algeria? It would make more sense for them to be in EUCOM. The factors of success are co-location with the primary regional implementer or action arm of the US government. So they're in the embassies. That answers that question, as well as supporting elements and an aggressive effort to release SIGINT to foreign governments supporting truly non-traditional customers.
Nice.
Ha!
EG, governments in Algeria, Mali, and Mauritania. How do you pronounce that? Mauritania? Is that right? Very, very noteworthy because of the fact that it's talking about more customers that are, quote, non-traditional and naming them.
That is very significant.
Definitely.
Forward production's effectiveness is based on co-location and integration with operational planners and teaming with all source customers and partners. This allows analysts to better anticipate requirements, blah, 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 provide better products, operate in the customer's decision cycle, and better understand their needs. Customer information needs is the correct terminology. It's about relating, not disseminating. Really. And NCEUR forward deployed analysts are expeditionary force inside our customers' information space, are better enabling CT operations and reaching analytic conclusions not otherwise possible. The forward production cell at NCEUR is serving as a model for operational partnering and analytic collaboration within the customer's environment, which means they're probably exploiting the customers as well as serving them.
Absolutely.
This forward production model will be implemented on an industrial scale. Oh, great. When the European Security Centre in Darmstadt, Germany, becomes fully operational. So this means that Germany is the leap pad, not just to the Middle East, but also to Africa.
Very important point, yeah.
The ESC, or European Security Centre, is the realization of a significant investment by US Army Europe and Intelligence and Security Command to perform SIGINT analysis and production against national theatre and technical requirements within the customer domain.
Wow.
Extended enterprise and HQ communities of the GeoCT regional targets and Middle East North Africa product lines collaborated on this target. Okay. That, I think, is the most significant finding there.
Definitely.
And I will just add that to my notes along with this document.
Awesome.
Okay, all you awesome people who are in chat, if you have any questions for us, now would be the time, because we're going to wrap this up very shortly.
I think we've had a really productive stream today. I think we got through a lot of documents, and we also found some really interesting material. I'm just checking chat really fast.
Yeah, African governments being on the customer list of the NSA, I think, is very significant.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we found some really interesting factual information, and we also saw that really interesting document as far as the culture of the NSA in 2005 regarding Iraq, and very, very interesting stuff for sure. I like Hope Kesselring wrote "The Graveyard of Empires." I like that phrase. Yeah, and somebody mentioned the Clinton Foundation. There's definitely a lot of issues with that for sure. It's a huge topic of investigation for any independent journalist. Absolutely.